Welcome back to Crypto Nightly. I am Desert Crypto and I will be your host tonight. Well, we are getting a recovery today. I mean, we can't complain about that, right? So we've had 2 or 3 green candles already, and we just closed another one. We've hit that key level back above the 200 on the daily. Definitely bullish. We broke over an SR level. Definitely bullish. And then wouldn't you know, AWS goes down and nobody can access their Coinbase account. So just imagine if Coinbase was actually up and running, the largest exchange in the United States, if that was up and running, how much further would we be up? Or do you think we'd be down? Do you think that's saving us? I don't know. Let's get into a few things. What's up, Daniel? What's going on? Welcome to the stream. But first things first, let's take a look at Bitcoin. Here we are. As you can see, boom, 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 3 white soldiers with progressively bigger candles getting above that vaunted 109,979 range. And even better, or even more substantial, is yesterday we broke back above the 200 daily, back into the bull area. Coming down here, looking at our oscillators, you can see the Stokes have bounced and are popping to the upside. You can see the momentum, nice green dot moving to the upside. Money flow, let's make that a little bigger. Money flow did come back down, it looks like a little bit today, but VWAP is still on its way to the upside. And money flow is still green, even though it's come down a little bit, it is still in the green. Imagine how much money would have flowed back in if Coinbase was available in most places. It was like hit or miss. I mean, I was in there. I was trying to rotate. As a matter of fact, I was trying to rotate out of Bitcoin into some alts. And I was able to get out of Bitcoin, but I wasn't able to get into any alts because the order books were down. So that's crazy, right? But as you can see, market or the day just changed. I mean, we're a couple minutes in. We do have a red candle, but we're only a couple minutes in. So that is kind of expected to be. And I was looking earlier, we come down here to the 1 hour. We do have some bullish action on the 1 hour. Anybody that knows me knows I love the 200 MA strategy. And you can see we busted through the 200 MA right here. Boom, bounce, bounce. Retest as the 21 popped. Looks like we're coming back down, but we are still above the 200. So provided we can hold this 200 right here on the 1 hour, that is extremely bullish, because that is going to help us work our way back through, say, the 2 hour 200, which is up here, the 3 hour, which is up here, and then the 4 hour, which is way up here. So going back to the 1 hour, you can see we do have some local SR levels that we really need to flip to continue this run. So right here at 11,697, you can see we wicked off it twice today. Boom, boom. We have a lot of wicks right here, back to the upside. Little bit of resistance when it fell. Little bit of support when it fell. Boom, boom, boom. Lots of price action right here. And then we have these local tops over here. Look at all these wicks where it tried to fight to get back over 113. And then, of course, the local high, as in October 12th, right here. So just a couple of days ago, or a week ago, you can see right here where we tried to get back after the crash. We tried to get back above and couldn't. So need to make it through those. And then 117, and then back to the upside. But for now, let's go ahead and look at the market. Dangu, what's up? What's going on, bro? Glad to see you made it. So let's go ahead and get into the market update. I haven't even really looked at it. Boom. All right. So we got the market cap coming in at $3.83 trillion, up 1.3%. It's better than down 2% like we have been. Real low volume. It is Monday. I kind of expected, because we started off good this morning, I kind of expected like a false move Monday, which is typical. It bounces up and then it dumps. And personally, the best day for trading, the best day for action, in my opinion, is Monday night through Thursday at about noon on the West Coast. So between like Monday night and Thursday afternoon, that is your best window. That is when most of the volume and most of the trading is being done. And we are coming in to that area right now, being 8 o'clock on the East Coast. So we got 164 billion in volume. Bitcoin dominant sitting at 57.5, Ethereum at 12.5, and apparently ETH transactions are free today. So let's go down. Let's take a look. We got Bitcoin coming in at 110,470, up 1.9 on the 24 hour. We got Ethereum at 39.75, down 0.2 on the 24 hour. BNB at 1,098, down 0.7. XRP at 249, up 4.4. We got Solana back to 189, up 0.9. We have Tron at 32.25, up 0.7. Doge rounding off the top 10 at 19.99, up 2.4. And Cardano, you love to see it back to 66.26, up 1.6. And we got to check SWI. SWI back into the 22nd position at 257, is down 0.4% today. Let's look at the biggest gainers. Interested to see what the biggest gainers are today. Zcash, everybody rotating back into privacy cash. So up 13.9, Chainlink up 8.1, XRP up 4.4, ICP up 4, Caspa up 3.8. Don't really see that in the biggest gainers and losers lately. Kronos is up 3.3. Funny thing about Kronos, so I watch Timcast IRL every night, and even he is now advertising Kronos on his podcast. So, which is kind of funny. So let's go to biggest losers. Biggest losers on the day. Athena down 5.6, Leo down 4.9, Astra down 3.7, Tau down 3.7, Mantle down 2.3, Monero down 1.9, and so on. Not too many losers, though. Not too many losers at all. Let's check in on the stock market. First, let's check on how the day ended. Massively in the green. The Dow up 515, the S&P up 71, NASDAQ up 310, and the Russell K up 47. And here it is. The VIX is down 12.2%, which is bullish. So traders are feeling more comfortable with what's going on in the market. Roll over here to the pre-market, and we're flat. So pre-market is pretty much flat on the day. Not a lot of stuff going. Stock futures a little change after major U.S. indexes rally to start the week. Let's take a look at Asia. So most of Asia is not open yet, but the Australian index is up almost 0.5%. So that is a good sign right there. All right, on to the fear and greed. Fear and greed coming in at 28. So up a couple of points from last week, but still in this fear territory. So people are still a little pessimistic about the market. 28, great time to buy. Great time to buy. So looking at liquidations on the 24-hour, and it's shorts. Shorts are getting wrecked. People are still trying to short the market. So they're getting wrecked. 12-hour, not so much. It's longs. The 4-hour, there's with what we've seen lately, these are very mild. Look, only 436 million liquidated on the 24-hour. Basically nothing on the 1 hour. even the 4-hour, basically nothing. Man, I don't know why. It's when I get on here and I just start rambling and talking, I start yawning. Lack of oxygen to the brain, I guess. This just makes me go a little weird. So let's look at the Max Pain. Max Pain has changed. So Max Pain prices have dropped. We're on Binance right here, Bitcoin. And you can see the end of October has dropped to 116. It was at 118 a few days ago. And then this Friday, it has dropped to 113. This is, at least that's up from where we're at right now. So, I mean, we'll take 113 max pain if that means Bitcoin's going to go up, throughout the week, right? Still, end of the year is showing 110 now, but the end of Q1 2026, it has now dropped to 160. It was 190, but now it is at 160. So very low volume though. The big volume is right here for the end of October, and that has dropped to 116,000. And speaking of October, let's go ahead and take a look. We are still in the red for October, down 2.6%. Apparently, I need to breathe more when I'm talking. Still down 2.6%. And when we come up here, even the quarterlies, and I was looking at this a little bit earlier, these are bear market numbers. And if you look, 2022, what was that? Height of the bear market, right? 2019, height of the bear market. 2018, that's when the bear market started. 2014, bear market. Other than that, Q4, is like just all green. And Ethereum's the same. 2022, height of the bear market. 2019-18, bear market. 2016, bear market, right before the run up in 2017. So yeah, not looking good. We are still at like I said, negative 2.6%. Could change overnight though. We still got 11 days left in the month, so anything is possible. All right, let's see here. Let's go to X. I do have some bookmarks I want to go over. So, Guru, 1.6 trillion Bank of America CEO says U.S. banking industry will soon embrace crypto for payments, which is bullish. Definitely bullish. Robinhood, definitely love real world assets here. Definitely love RWAs. I'm not a fan of ETFs, so I'm not a fan of taking tokens and putting them on the stock market, but I am a fan of taking stocks and putting them on the blockchain through tokenization. And Robinhood tokenizes 500 plus US stocks and ETFs on Arbitrum for European users. RWAs just keep winning. And there's old Vlad himself right there. So, big meeting tomorrow. So the Federal Reserve will host its Payments Innovation Conference on October 21st in D.C. Top speakers will include Kathy Wood, Rob Goldstein, Heath Tarbert, and Alicia Haas. So the main focus is going to be on Bitcoin, RWA, and crypto payment methods. Jerome Powell will be there. I do believe he is scheduled to speak. So this is definitely bullish. I'm pretty sure this is the first time in history that the Fed has ever entertained any kind of like crypto as a currency type of thing, right? So that is bullish. Mt. Gox payments. Mt. Gox, the final set of Mt. Gox repayments deadline is October 31st. So we could see a flood of Bitcoin hitting the market by the end of the month. And of course, it could, people that have been sitting on their Bitcoin, they could sell it. I mean, what was it when it crashed in 2017? 18,000 maybe, something like that, when Mt. Gox went down, and now it's sitting at 111. They could sell, but why would you sell right here, right when we're in the final stages of the bull run? That doesn't make sense. So President Trump said one day Bitcoin will overtake gold. And that is a beautiful statement. I mean, this man has just like fully embraced crypto. I understand his family is making a ish ton of money in crypto. So, of course, he's going to embrace it, right? But to come out and just embrace it like this, and it's not him, it's Eric, it's Barron, it's Don Jr. Those are the thought pioneers in his family when it comes to crypto. The younger people, they know what's going on. Eric, especially with World Liberty Financial. And then they say the anonymous Bitcoin insider, Trump insider, might be Barron Trump. So who knows? Who knows? Maybe it is, But if we go to Grok, apparently Grok said Bitcoin will hit 180,000 on December 15th this year. Well, if Grok said it, right? The all-powerful AI said it. I mean, I'm not going to deny $180,000 Bitcoin. That would be awesome. Then we got $15 billion TD Cohen says Bitcoin recovery from the market crash shows resilience and predicts Bitcoin will hit 141,000 by December. Once again, that would be bullish. I mean, in all reality, 141, we hit 141 the end of October or the end of November. That might be the high. I mean, and that's still a pretty good freaking run, and then hopefully altcoins, do their thing after that. But if Bitcoin hits 141,000, that's more than 2x last cycle's top. So, and it would kind of fall in with, diminishing returns when it comes to Bitcoin. So, we went from 20 to what, 64. That's a 3.5x. We go from 64 to 141. That's a little over a 2x. I'm just saying it is possible. So, Circle, I had to put out a little post that says we've supported USDC across 28 blockchains. Your digital dollars are class across platform. And I was like, well, you haven't distributed anything to Cardano. What's up with Cardano? Cardano is never. We can make all the partnerships we want. Partner with Bitcoin. Partner with Ripple. Partner with Whodat. It doesn't matter. If we don't have some kind of friggin' stable coin, I'm telling you that big money investors are not going to dump millions of dollars into an ecosystem and DEXs that don't even have a stable coin. Because a lot of big money investors, they'll just take the USDC and then they'll invest it through that. They'll get the APY on USDC, or when they do like stake in pools, they want to stake with USDC. So they want like an ADA USDC pair, to put into the pool, or a freaking Crawju USDC pair to put in a pool. Not everybody wants, Crawju ADA or SNEC ADA. They want a real stable coin. And I'm sorry, JED, USDM, IUSD, USDA, whatever. All these stable coins on Cardano don't cut it. They just don't cut it. Plain and simple. So then we got Bloomberg analysts expect gold flows to rotate into Bitcoin. You'll love to see it, especially since gold just put in another new all-time high today. I think like 43.60 or something like that. Some ridiculous amount. Ridiculous. I remember back in the 90s and it was like $300-400 an ounce. It's crazy, right? So, and then yesterday, CNBC announced live that Walmart, this is super bullish right here. I really like this. So CNBC just announced live that Walmart will now accept crypto, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP via OnePay Cash. So over 150 million users can now use crypto for payments. Mass adoption isn't coming. It is here. And essentially, OnePay is a payment system that can be used at Walmart. And bam, you can now load it with crypto and use it at the cash register or at their point of sales. I'm sure you can use it, through Walmart delivery and everything like that also. So definitely bullish. Martini guy says that Trump says the U.S. can lower China tariffs and is confident on striking a soybean deal. So Trump and Xi are set to meet on the 31st on Halloween in South Korea. And, hopefully they get something going together, get a plan worked out, because November 1st is the deadline for Trump implementing the extra 100%, which I think would take us to, there's two numbers I keep seeing, 130% and 156%. So tariffs on China. So, and then, we got to give a shout out to Crawju. So apparently Charles just keeps this little dude in his pocket, right? Because he's in freaking Greece. He's at the Acropolis in Greece. And so is Crawju, just chilling, enjoying the view, right? Super awesome. And then a big shout out to the team over at Crawju for hammering out an IP right with the original artist. So we are pleased to announce that we have reached an agreement regarding licensing of Son of Crawju with the artist. Michael will remain an integral part of Crawju's creative process, and we'll continue working with him to ensure his original vision is always protected. It's been a long process, but totally worth it, as this allows us to move forward with the next phase of Crawju's plans. Well, that's cool and all, but inquiring minds want to know, what is the next phase of Crawju's plans? We definitely want to know what's going to go on. What direction are they going to take this? It already came out a successful meme. I mean, you got old Cattle Daddy right here throwing it around. So where are they going to take this? Are they going to turn this into a business? I'm not sure, but I do own a little bag. Full disclosure, do own a little bag, and I'm very curious to see where they take this. Always buy at your own risk, DYOR, all that good stuff. It is a super small market cap. It is only sitting at about 1.5. As you can see, I was already looking at it right here, because we got to do the shout out for Crawju. Actually, it is up to 2.28 million, but that's in ADA. So it's a little less than that. We switch that to the dollar. Yeah, 1.5. So sitting at 1.5 on the dollar. Super small, but that just means the upside is damn near exponential. That means a $15 million market cap is a 10x, right? So if a $15 million market cap is a 10x, that means $150 million market cap, which is like pittance when it comes to like Solana and these other ecosystems. That's a 100x on your money. You throw 100 ADA in there, boom, boom. Next thing you know, maybe you have 10,000 ADA. Who knows? But don't take my advice. It is a meme coin. Okay. I just want to throw that out there. It is a meme coin. Yes. Hashtag DSOC. Hashtag. Whoops. There we go. They're coming in so fast. I'm clicking on the wrong ones. Don't sleep on Crawju. Boom. The chat loves it. We know Dangu, Crypto King, Daniel. We know you guys love it. I was looking at the 1 hour on Crawju. So we do have what's a hidden bullish div. So we got a higher low, and then down here on the RSI we have a lower low. So we do have a hidden bullish div. Stokes are reset, so I definitely like that. We come out here to the 4 hour. Let's pull this down a little bit. I was playing around. I pulled a fib extension. So fib extension from the low point to the previous high. Boom, at the 1.618 fib extension, which would be the final target in the short run, takes us right to 00450, which is right in line with back here. And I believe at this point we were at right around, what was it, a 40 million market cap, I want to say. Daniel might know. Daniel, what was the height of Crawl Jew's market cap? What did Crawl Jew's market cap peak out when it first popped off? But as you can see, we definitely gotta hit the breakout zone right here. We're getting a little bit of denial right here, and this is sitting at what is that? That's at about the 240 zone. So 6 million. Oh wow, I thought it went higher than that. Okay, so 6 million. So up here, we're at about 6 million. And if we can break that 6 million, it's off to the races, fellas. But that is enough TA on a micro cap. Let's go back to Bitcoin because I do like what I'm seeing on Cardano. Also, come out here to the daily on Cardano. Well, whoops. Stretch that out a little bit. Now on Cardano, we have what is called just a bull div. No hidden. No, they're not trying to hide it from you. They're not trying to do nothing like that. Boom. We got a lower low and a higher low. And that is a beautiful bull div. Pretty much looking like the Bitcoin chart. 3 white soldiers on the candles. We're trying to get back above this 68 cent, which is a key resistance level when we bring this out. Put some more data on the screen on the daily so we can get that volume profile. And as you can see right here, we're in this little dip right before we bounce up. And then the 74 to like the 81 range is really key. And we're right in this dip, or I guess you would say the 74 to the bottom of the node is like 78. So 74 to 78 is key. Getting back above that puts us at the top of this high volume node, and then we just start working our way back through. So, but it is a bullish div. And if you look at it, actually at 74, we got the 200 MA, which is coming across. It'd be nice if we can get up here quick enough. We will fail to print this death cross that is coming, which is the 50 right here. We really don't want to see that come and complete the death cross. Not that it'll be the end or a bear market. It just means we'll have to wait longer, So we don't want to see that. We don't want to have to deal with that. Let's come down to the 1 hour though, because I was looking at the 1 hour. Love seeing this. We are fighting with the 200 right now, and we actually have some tight freaking action right here. So the 100 and the 200 and the 21 are starting to get real tight. We can't seem to break above it. This would be super bullish if we can break and stay above the 200. When we come down here to the oscillators, bring that up. You can see money flow is coming down to the red. VWAP, momentum, Stokes. Is that let me see though. What is that? What's going on right here? Boom, boom, boom. So we do have a hidden bull div. So this is good to see. For right here, this low to this low, we got price action coming down. That's not where I wanted to see that. Boom. There we go. We got a higher low. And then when we come across here, you can see we're pretty much flat. Wait a minute. That might be up. No, my bad. I am mistaken. So that is not true. But we do got the Stokes coming down. And I like that we had a nice tight wave right here. So we came down, but it immediately turned and popped back up. And this isn't the 1 hour. So we could just see this kind of play out, even right here. That's only a couple hours from now. Pop out here, see the VWAP, the VWAP come down, pop, go back to the upside. Still bullish that we are fighting the 200. Now, if we get totally denied from the 200, then yeah, that's going to be bearish. We're going to dump back down, maybe come down right here. Hopefully it's not like this on this trend line. If you see this trend line of lows, we definitely don't want to fall back down here. We want to stay in line with this trend. And it looks like we are right at the trend. If we break that, we're going to come down to this POC, thus putting in a lower low right here. So we want to see that break above. We want to see Asia wake up and add some liquidity. Oh, I just got that over my face, huh? I forgot I put that up there, just sitting over my face. So yeah, that's what we are looking at right there. But that's about it. I mean, nothing else is really, we have a lot of bull divs on the daily, which are looking good. And they are playing out slightly, but I really think that with AWS being down and people not being able to, I don't know how it's affecting other exchanges. I didn't have any problems on MEXC, but I really only use Coinbase and MEXC. So I don't know if some of the exchanges in the East, like is Binance working, BitGet, all of those. I don't know if all of those are working. I wouldn't think most of those are on AWS, being foreign owned. But it is possible. So, we got bull div on SWI. Boom, regular bull div on both. Green dot, momentum back to the upside. And when we work our way through, I had a bunch of them. XRP, yeah, XRP with the bull div and the massive pump right to the SR level at 248. So if it can crush this 248, be looking for it to get up here to about 273. Actually, let's see here. Yeah, there's kind of a once you get above this 248, you got a little bit of a volume node right here at 255, and then there's a pretty big volume gap, so back up to 273 area. So that's bullish. Let's work our way down through Ondo. No, not seeing any kind. Don't get me wrong, the momentum is coming up. Green dot, but we do have a little bit of money flow coming down. Looks like we have the VWAP rounding over. GRT has a slight bull div on it. Nope, I guess not. No, we do not have a lower low, but same thing. Momentum to the upside. Arrow's got the bull div right here, and Arrow is fighting with the 200 right here on the daily. That is super, super important for us to get back above the 200 on the daily, for Arrow to continue to the upside. Money flows in the red, kind of flat. VWAP has flattened out. Do got the bull div on the RSI, the momentum, and the double green dot to the upside. Looking at Psy, same thing. A lot of these coins are looking exactly the same, even the same patterns like Psy. Boom, 3 white soldiers, boom, to the upside. VWAP, everything. So everything is kind of looking the same. Everything is, it's not super bearish, not super bullish, but a recovery could be at hand. And this is what we want to see. We want to see the stock market start to rebound. We want to see some dovish stuff come out of this, this Fed stablecoin payment, freaking whatever thing they're having tomorrow. We got lots of earnings this week. Apple is the one that really pushed the Dow to higher highs today. We do have FOMC next Wednesday. So I would expect if we're going to get the pump, we're going to get the pump through this week, maybe the weekend also. Monday stabilize a little bit. And then, it's always crazy around the FOMC meetings. Everybody's expecting 1/4%. So it's essentially baked in. So we see the drop on Tuesday or some crazy action on Tuesday, Wednesday. It'll like pump into his speech while he's speaking. It'll drop. Now, if this dude comes out with 0.5%, market's going to just go crazy. It's just going to go buck wild. And that's all we can hope for at this point. So, all right, you guys have a great night. I will see you tomorrow. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, share this with a friend. I go live Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. PST, bringing you the daily news nightly. All right, have a great night.